If you're chronically on YouTube like I am, then you may have noticed the number of YouTubers that are announcing that they are quitting YouTube or shrinking down their team or just rearranging how they do everything altogether. And everybody's gonna have different feelings about this. Obviously, people are gonna be sad because their favorite YouTubers are quitting YouTube, but I personally love it. Let me explain why. So for starters, I think it goes without being said that it's a great thing that people are prioritizing their happiness and mental health over whatever you call YouTube success or whatever motivates them to continue to do YouTube when they don't feel like doing it anymore, or at least in the way that they're doing it right now. I've seen a number of videos where people are talking about being tired, having zero work-life balance, or in some cases, they just literally don't enjoy it anymore because of what it's become for them. And I don't know if anyone said this directly, but what I've noticed is in some situations, some of the YouTubers like being creators, but don't like the business of being creative. And what I mean by that is, when you're in the business of being a creator, sometimes you can't necessarily do the most creative thing because it's not the best thing for the business. So you end up sacrificing the creativity for the sustainability of the business. And for some people, that's fine, but in some situations, it gets to the point where you're just not enjoying the process anymore, which leads to the point where people either quit or decide to change how they're doing things so they can get closer to doing what they enjoy. And seeing people discover this in real time is why I actually love the fact that this is happening. Because at least for me, there is a lot I can learn from the decisions that they've made so that I can make better informed decisions when I get to certain points in my career. So I have a list of things that I have learned from these videos that maybe you might benefit from as well. The very first thing is don't just do things because you think you're supposed to. There were a few different videos that I saw where people said that they grew their channel and grew out a team because they thought it's what they were supposed to do. And in the end, they didn't enjoy it and they ended up hating everything about it because they spent more time on the business. Another thing is, a lot of times people have mentioned they've been feeling like they want to quit for a while, but they just didn't do it because they were either scared or their whole livelihood depends on this one thing, or they just feel like they're obligated to do it because of their audience. So that leads into the next thing that I've learned, which is to understand and define why you're doing what you're doing. So I'm pretty sure there's a book about this by like Seth Godin or something called Define Your Why or something, or Start With Why or whatever. Haven't read the book. It's on my list of books that I probably need to read, but just haven't done it yet. So the first thing that you need to figure out why are you trying to build a business around it? If it's because you really just enjoy this and you want to figure out a way to do this full time, then you kind of have to figure out how to walk the line of business and creative in a way that allows you to enjoy the process. In Marques Brownlee's video where he was talking about all the YouTubers that are quitting, not quitting himself, he mentioned that he has to make the intentional decision to keep creativity at the center of everything that he's doing and every decision that he's making. Otherwise, it's extremely easy to just lose sight of why you're doing anything. And for some people, you might not actually enjoy the business side of being a creative. So you have to figure out ways to make that less of a demand on you so that you can continue to focus on the things that you love. Another thing that I'd like to highlight is the importance of building a sustainable business. And a sustainable business, in my opinion, isn't just building a business that makes money, but also a business that allows you to have the work-life balance that you'd like, to be able to enjoy doing the work more than you hate doing the work, and also just something that doesn't lead to burnout overall. And there are various examples of YouTubers that have figured out how to do this. For Marques Brownlee, he has people do the things that he doesn't necessarily enjoy so that he can focus on the things that he does enjoy. And for Ali Abdaal, he basically does the same thing, but he realizes he doesn't enjoy business. So his solution is to hire a business manager who does all the business, and then he only has to manage that one person who manages everything else. And for Matt D'Avella, I don't know how you say his name, the solution was, I don't need a team. Let me just get back to me and a camera and doing it by myself. It's all about finding the system that works best for you. One thing that I think can lead to channels being unsustainable is feeling obligated to appeal to the algorithm. And I think that can become apparent in a few different ways. Way number one is feeling like you have to do weekly videos or you have to make a certain type of video. But going back to Marques Brownlee, he's realized he can't always please the algorithm. So sometimes a video's not gonna get made just because it's gonna be good for the algorithm. He'll just not do the video because he just doesn't have the capacity to do it. And he's okay with that. And he's someone that puts out a fairly frequent amount of videos across multiple channels. And then there's another example in Oversimplified History where they put out a video like once a year, and every time they get millions of views. I think they just put out their yearly video like a couple days ago as of this video being recorded. To tie that part up in a bow, the main thing that I think I have been learning about being a creative is that when people say be consistent, that doesn't necessarily mean show up every day or show up once a week. That means find a system and a rhythm that works best for you. And the last thing that I think is extremely important is that you need to be comfortable with change, because things will never stay the same and they will always be changing. Your passions and desires will change. You might be excited about this thing right now, but in a few years, you might be more interested in this other thing, and that's okay. I've seen this in my own life where for the first 10 years of me making music, I started out making hip hop and R&B, and I made that for a while, but at some point I got bored and I just wanted to do something different. And for me, that was making electronic music, and that meant that I had to change what I was making my YouTube content about as well, because I was making educational content for music creators, but I wanted to reach a wider audience and I wanted to talk about different things. So as a result, I had to accept that I'm probably gonna slow down the growth of my channel as I try to rediscover what it is I want to do on YouTube and starting over from square one with my music. But that doesn't mean that I shouldn't do it. It just means that it's gonna be a process to get to where I wanna be. With all that being said, I love that people are making these decisions for themselves rather than for other people. And I'm excited to see what happens next with all these creators and with the future of YouTube. And with that, I'm bringing this video to a close. I just put out a song called Like That. It is available to listen to right here. And I will catch you in my next video.